Now, personal trainers, the health and fitness world has changed, and I've just jumped out of the office after recording a new podcast episode that I wanted to give to you right now, even before it goes live onto iTunes. This is about how the health and fitness world has changed and what you need to do to be able to keep up, because the truth is there's so much information out there. What so much personal trainers are trying to give away right now is actually what technology is about to completely wipe out and take control of. And I want you to be ahead of the curve, because the truth is the old personal training business model is dying very quickly, and it's time to keep up. And that's why I wanted to share with you this interview that I just did, walking you through. And this isn't all doom and gloom, but this is really important for you to be able to soak in and know what the best next steps are, what changes you can be making with your personal training, with your fitness business and your fitness career as well. Because let's be brutally honest right now, there are a lot of apps out there that's giving away free workouts, nutrition plans, things that are needed to be able to get people into shape. So you've got to ask yourself, how are you separating yourself, not just from other personal trainers, other competitors that can be taking away your clients, but how are you separating yourself in getting prepared to make sure technology doesn't come in and all this free information that is out in the big wide world taking over what you're doing right now. So now I want you to be able to watch this full interview, and at the end I'm going to be able to give you the best next steps as well that you're going to be able to take advantage of. This is whether you want to be able to build your face-to-face fitness business, whether you want to start and grow your online fitness business, or whether you want to do both. I'm going to be giving you access to the coaching episode that I just held with a group of trainers and coaches which are using it and literally using it around the world right now. So let's jump straight into the interview. Charles, thank you so much for coming on to the Ask the Pro podcast. I'm pumped to have you on here because I think we're going to rattle some cages right now. I think we're going to actually burst the bubble on a couple of people's ideas of what's going on, but at the same time, we're going to give them a really good idea of what to be doing. So I just want to say before we jump into all of this, mate, thank you so much for taking the time for being here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm super excited as well.
Okay, now this is the second time you've been on because obviously you're just so amazing and what you're doing is also so amazing. So really quick, if someone hasn't listened to that episode that we've done before, I will link to it in the show notes as well. Who is Charles? Why are you so phenomenal?
All right. Well, I'm not going to tell you why I'm phenomenal because I'll have like a huge ego then. So I'm going to leave that part out. But so my name's Charles. For the last past 9 months, I've been working on a fitness app that's trying to change how personal trainers work with their clients. And one of our goals is to make personal training more personal again. So I've kind of been in depth in this field, trying to understand where personal trainers are coming from, where clients are coming from, especially myself as a previous client for a lot of online personal trainers, and using that experience to help personal trainers better work with their clients.
Okay, this is really good. This is really interesting. Now, before we jump into anything, I find this very funny that we're actually recording this today because yesterday I was listening to a podcast on the bike, riding to the gym, and it was Peter Diamandis.
On the motorbike?
On the motorbike.
That's dangerous, my friend.
Well, I need to soak it in, and I I feel like I actually learn better when my mind is focusing on the riding of the bike. It's like it just goes straight in. But anyway, I was riding the bike, and I'm listening
I focus more when I'm in depth, about to die because I can't hear any horns or cars around me.
It's not that loud. But probably the worst thing was I was listening to Peter Diamandis getting interviewed because I always walk away from listening to that guy wanting to just run through walls and improve the world. Now, he said something really interesting that got me thinking all last night and leading into today as well. And that was, how do you disrupt yourself as the business owner, as the entrepreneur? How do you disrupt your industry and how would you disrupt your own business? And I feel like this is really where we're heading today because the health and fitness world has changed. And if trainers and coaches are not keeping up with the times and are not making changes, they're going to be left behind. And I feel like this is where I really want to be able to get this content and this information out there because it's not doom or gloom situation, but it's simply get ready to make some changes and it's going to be for the better.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's I think about my run into fitness when I was 20 compared to when I'm 29 now. How vastly different it was. Like when I was 20, it was you want to get in shape? Sure, no problem. Join a gym. It's that's it. Like you can go to the gym and boom, you're in shape already, you know? And now it's like completely different. Like, oh, man, people are like, I mean, you have like Tim Ferriss, like testing every little thing. Like there's like these urine strips you can test like ketosis. It's like, who thinks about this?
I love how this is so true. At like 20, it's like train, then on the weekends, go out, get shit-faced all weekend, come back, and you can just get away with it so easy. Not so anymore.
I know, but it's like just like, but the in depth of it, you know, it's like I think in the States, at least like where I'm from, Chicago, it's like we were just like advertised to just go to the gym and that's it. That was all. You know, like once you're at the gym, like maybe drink like their smoothie which has sugar in it, and like you did your job, good to go.
It'll still work. Okay, this is good because I feel like there's two routes. There's obviously one route I really want to take us today, but there's two routes where a lot of trainers and coaches are probably struggling with right now. One is how are they actually going to get clients? And I don't want to go down that route because I feel like the second route of how are you coaching your clients is much more important and will also then 180 back around to how you're actually going to get clients at the end of the day. Because you brought up some really interesting examples and I would love for you to run through those right now with what software and what technology is doing and how that's literally putting trainers out of their jobs.
Yeah, so like, you know, and this is just like, I'm looking at my girlfriend's perspective because like she's just the average consumer, you know, like for me, like I have friends like you, I have other personal training friends, so I see all their information all the time, right? So like for me, like I'm more inundated, whereas she's more the average consumer. And, you know, she's like, oh, I'm going to start a workout program. And I'm like, really? Like, what are you going to go do? And she's like, well, I'm going to use this Nike Plus training app. And it gives you like all my workouts. And I'm like, really? And I'm looking at the app and I'm like, oh, it's actually really nice. Like you put in there like intensity and it's like, here's your plan. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, Thursday you're off, Friday, and then like all these different things on like the parameters that you want. Like, do you like cardio? No. Do you like this? Yes. And it gives you a plan. And like, she's like, okay, I don't need to talk to anybody. I can just go do this plan. And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, holy cow, wait 1 second. If they could just download an app and get a workout plan, then why are you hiring personal trainers? Like, because I think personal trainers are selling themselves as like, I have the magic plan.
Yes.
Like I'm the only one that has the magic plan on how to lose weight.
And
it's
guess
like,
what? Now
Nike app has
on
it
an
too.
app for free. Like, and that's the thing in the world we live in now. Information is of abundance, and it's just out there. Like, what about the Coach Me example that you had before? That was awesome.
Yeah, so Coach Me started as an accountability app, right? So now they have like professional coaches on where you can pay like anywhere from $10 to $20 to have a coach, one-on-one human interaction to help be accountable and be accountable to your goals. So like when I started doing like using a personal trainer, like when I was like 21, 22, I was like, oh, I need to like have somebody accountable for me. I need to have a plan. And it's okay. So Nike Fitness does the plan and they don't care about the profit of it because they're just trying to sell shoes. And then, okay, Coach Me does the accountability. Okay, done. And that only cost me what, $10 a week, you know? It's like, that's a beer a week. That's it.
You relate to a beer. You are the consumer. Okay. Now, with the situation that we're in right now then, it's, okay, trainers are most likely positioning themselves in the incorrect way because there is so much information. And like, even looking at what I'm trying to do with, say, my fitness business, My Body Blends, I'm literally giving tons of free information away. There's workouts, meal plans, like there's everything covering the in-depths of what's going on from all the different avenues of training, nutrition, accountability, lifestyle, and supplementation. The lot, it's all in there. There's tons of information. It's clearly not like I'm the only one doing it. Like there is every man and his dog's doing it. So how does the trainer right now, so it's not doom and gloom, how do we start to shift our mindset into what actually needs to happen?
Well, I think the major thing you just said, I have tons of information. Okay, one thing people don't have is right now is time. You know, like I don't have time for this. You know, like in like you know, there's like this new like I was reading like some article in like Psychology Today, right? And it's like the phenomenon of always being busy.
Yes.
So it's like, even though people aren't busy, they think they are.
Yeah.
So when you're like, I have a PDF with like, I have 7 PDFs to tell you how to eat, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, 7 PDFs? Like, I don't have time for this.
Yep.
You know, so I think that's the one issue. It's like, I think personal trainers, what they started is they were saying, okay, we have more information and we can like help you navigate all this information. But like, that's almost like, I think it's almost negative. So I think what some personal trainers should start doing to try to, you know, correct this is seeing themselves as listening to their clients more. Because when I come to a personal trainer like you, for instance, I might be telling you something like, oh, I have this problem because, you know, I cannot seem to get past this 2 week. I work out for 2 weeks and then I stop. Or I have really big issues of eating because I eat out every single day.
Yeah.
And then, but if you have a huge PDF guide that you want to start giving me, you're not going to be able to connect with me.
No.
Because my problem isn't that you have a PDF. Like, I'm great. Thank God you have a PDF.
If anything, that's actually worsening the problem.
Yeah, because now you're giving me more information overload. I mean, let's look at magazines, for instance, like health magazines. How health magazines made their money was 1 month, here's how to get 6-pack abs in 10 minutes. And then the next month, how that workout ruins your abs, you know? Yeah. It's like, and they did this because they needed you to come back the following month to see how like, oh, this new thing is like completely detrimental to like everything that you like automatically already thought of. And like, wow, you were thinking about fats? Like, no, now carbs is the enemy. It's like, it's always consistently changing. So there isn't a lack of information. There's tons of information out there. I think it's more about being personal and having a personal connection.
Okay, good. This is really good. Now, I like where you're taking this. So obviously, the way we can start to look at this in really what is the magic at the end of the day, and obviously looking at what actually gets someone results, because it's not information, it's transformation that we need at the end of the day. So how does that transformation come about? Individualization of the actual plans, proper support at the end of the day, so, depending on, okay, we've got the Coach Me example of accountability, but people are always running in with questions. And one thing I found so helpful for my members is they just want to be able to ask super quick questions, get a simple answer back, because they might have had a video that brought up some other thing, they might have been confused, and they just need a quick flick to be able to help them back on their way. Also, you wrote down something I thought was really important, was them being able to make it personal. How, and this is obviously kind of like the umbrella of it, but how do you suggest trainers can start making it personal?
I think a lot of personal trainers see their relationship with their clients as a one-way street. It's personal trainer sending to the client. Yeah. And I think if the personal trainer thought of it as a two-way, highway, like it's the personal trainer sending it and the client. So for example, and we could touch on this, I don't want this to be like an app promotion, but like, we're currently producing an app about personal trainers and how to work better with their clients. Yeah. Kind of the competitors of like Trainerize and My PT Hub. But like one of the things that we want to do is we want the personal trainer to be able to snap a photo of their food and also send that to their client. Because it's not just about the client, eating correctly, but about them seeing examples and having that consistent interaction. Yeah. So it's a two-way street and not just a one-way street. And I think about if we look at it as just normal relationship, like a friend relationship. And I understand like it's a business and you don't want to be like texting your clients 24 hours a day. But, there's degrees that you can do, like, oh, here's my selfie at the gym. Where's your selfie at the gym? Yep. Or here's my food for the day. Where's your food at the, the gym? Yep. And this interaction kind of keeps them accountable, not because there's a checklist they're checking off at the end of the day, but that you're doing it and they're doing it. And
that is something I also see that technology can't have that personal interaction about what's going on. And that's what we want. We're like, it's a part of our human needs is obviously to be a part of the community as well. And that's what, like, going through the actual app, because obviously you sent it to me. Well, I think it was really cool that like there's like, for example, what I loved and what I enjoyed was in here, I can obviously message you being my client, right? Phenomenal. Because at one point I gave all my online clients WhatsApp access to me. And I wanted to blow my brains out because suddenly dozens of clients are obviously messaging me and like, that's all cool. But then like also my wife is like, you get off your phone. Like, I don't want to hear that thing buzz anymore. And I'm like, I totally get it. So obviously there's a balance between what's going on. But also what I love, what this brings about as well is, okay, we want to make it personal. We want to make it individualized. But how do we scale the business at the same time? Because obviously amount of time per client that you're putting in creates a success ceiling of what's going on. And I think that's where actually having technology to help that process comes in.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So I think the one thing that we were all lied about is technology will automate everything for us, and we don't need human interaction anymore. And I think like that's an issue. You can automate your sales process. You can automate content. You can automate, a handful of different things in this area, right? But the one thing you shouldn't automate is the personal connection.
Yeah.
So, but then there's automation you can do within there. So, for example, right, within our app, if let's say you have 20 clients in the app, right, and you take a photo of yourself and you want to send that photo to your clients, it sends it to all your clients individually, right? This is automation because it's taking your photo, instead of you having to go to WhatsApp and send it to each and every individual client, it's now sending to all your clients, right? And that's perfect. But what's not okay is you having is your audience like familiar with Buffer?
Yeah, I know what Buffer is.
So Buffer is like an auto queue for your social profile.
Yes.
Right? Your customers don't want an auto queue for your social profile. They know if it's your newsletter, right, and it's sending out to everybody at the same exact time. Like they get this feeling, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. Like they get the feeling of it, right? Now, like you can do it in ways where it's like you can do like an email list where it doesn't feel so like it doesn't feel like so automated. You know, you can just like say things in here, mention things that you do. Like you could think about automation, but try and make it extremely personal. Yep. And actually, like the e-commerce space in general is doing this to a large degree, right?
Oh, totally.
You go on a product page and they send you an email of that product page, right? It's like, but think about what you can do as your personal trainer self in this way. But I think like one thing we're talking about like how they can be more personal. But I think the one major thing is how they can be more niched as well. Because if you're dealing with like you have a friend that deals with like just golf, like male golfers, right? It's very easy to her to be personal about it because all her train of thought and all her conversations are all unilaterally the same, right? But if you have a weight loss person, a fitness like a weightlifter, a person that's like trying to get back into shape after being like out of surgery, your communication to them is so individual that you end up getting exhausted based on handling all those situations.
Yeah, and also you trying to please everyone at the end of the day pleases no one.
Yeah. Because you have to find the balance. That's the big thing. I think that's why personal trainers are trying to automate everything is because they work so many hours.
Yes.
And
I think as well, this kind of comes to the point where a trainer is usually kind of sit there being like, I'm going to give you your nutrition plan and I'm going to give you your training plan. And then be like, well, that's it. That's all I kind of do at the end of the day. And that's not it, because what I found was really cool was when you were putting this together, you're like, what do you look at when you're actually looking at clients' results? And I'm like, well, we need to look at sleep. What's their stress like libido? What about their digestion? Like all these other things as well. And this is where we can go so much deeper into what's needed for a personal trainer. One, I think what a personal trainer actually needs to be focusing on to get results with the clients, but then how do they actually apply that?
Well, I think what you're talking about is like what I want to call like personal trainer 2.0, like personal trainer problem solved. Like, automation is killing your job, Like there's so many apps out there that are starting out that are using algorithms and artificial intelligence to design workout programs for your clients. Like that job is done with, like you sent them a workout, good job. So did like a billion other companies, I think where it's at now is how do you make yourself relevant? And I think how you make yourself relevant is stop thinking that your job is like a personal trainer in the gym. When you're at the gym, your personal trainer is to go to a machine, okay, lift this, do that, okay, do this, and then you're on your phone or doing something else while your client's training. But like your job is to really be a health coach.
Totally.
You know, like you just talked about sleep, libido, all these different things. When I worked out the personal trainer in the gym, they never asked me how my libido was. You know, this is an awkward conversation to have in person, public probably. Like he's wearing shorts, I'm wearing shorts. He's big, I'm small. There's like women around. It's like, how's your libido? It's good, thanks. That girl I was trying to hit on over there by the weight stack just thinks we're together now. Thank you for that.
Oh my God, this is so good. Okay.
But like, I think like what you're trying to say is like you have to be a health coach. Okay.
Yes.
So you have to evolve yourself,
Yes.
Into a health coach. And what does a health coach do? They look at every parameter, they look at like your stress, like you said, your sleep, your libido. They think about supporting you. They think about helping you be accountable. They think about understanding and your goals and actually realizing your goals. Like when a person comes to you and says, Chris, I want to lose weight. Do you ever ask them why?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And like they have responses like, oh, I have a wedding to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have a wedding to go to. All right, so we have like 3 months to lose some weight, but what are we going to do after those 3 months?
Yeah.
Because do you want that client for just 3 months? No, you have to figure out some relevancy to get that client afterwards. So then it's your job to then go, okay, here's not a PDF, but hey, listen, I understand you're trying to diet this way and you're trying to be extreme right now. We'll do this, but you should also think about your overall health, and here's why.
Yep.
And if you have that like aspect, it's personal, it's it's informative to them, but also gives them a better understanding of their health.
Yes. Okay. Cool. So, what do you think the trainer right now tuning in with us needs to walk away and start to do? How should they start thinking differently over what's been happening to what's going to happen?
All right, I think what they should start doing, they have like 3 suggestions. One, start talking to your clients way more. Like, do not fear this, right? Like, you could automate, let's say, like, for example, in our app, we automate the process for you to deliver workouts to your clients. Like, you have workout plans and you can deliver those in an automated way where you're not, sending PDFs or anything along these lines.
Yep.
But this frees up your time to then make a phone call, right? To talk to them. So I think once a week, they should be talking to their clients, at least once a week, right? Maybe emailing them on Monday. Okay, what's our goals for the week? And then on Friday, giving them a phone call and going like, hey, Sherry, how did those, goals happen? What happened? Why didn't it happen?
Yep.
And start talking to them as you're trying to work with them and not preach to them,
Totally.
Like, I understand I should not eat cookies, okay?
I love
but at the same time, cookies are good.
Cookies are really good.
But you can't just tell me why they're not good. You have to like show me while eating cookies is hurting the goal that I wrote down on Monday that I sent to you.
Yeah, totally. And I think what the really good is obviously we can use technology such as what I've got in the membership. Like you put your photos up, your girth measurements and your weight up, and we can start progress tracking what's going on right now. Like that is a fantastic way to start using technology. But if something happens and suddenly I jump in and I'm like, whoa, their weight has jumped up. Like I can be like, Charles, like, did you eat too many cookies this week? Like, what's going on? And then obviously we can start to use that to have that personal interaction. And what I liked what you said was like trying to automate a 2-way communication stream.
Well, I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to automate everything, Like, I think that's the problem is they're looking at it as like, okay, it's either all or none. And I think that's the overall problem with thinking. I think most people have is they think everything's white or black, right? Things are usually a balance between those. And they need to think about it in terms of like, okay, I can automate this, but I can't automate that.
Yeah, it's like artificial intelligence and technology. It's like, well, it's not going to wipe everything out. But when you start looking at like what you're saying before, like they're putting together software with the IBM algorithm that's going to be able to start piecing together the right workouts because it can start collating tons of data and crunching that so easily so it can literally line someone's workout out for them to be able to do efficiently, effectively.
Yeah, so actually you just mentioned data. Okay, so this is like my second point because this is like a little bit my pet peeve, okay, is you guys overload people with so much information.
Yes.
Stop talking about data and all these little technicalities and start just relating everything to how this doesn't help this.
Yep.
And if that's the situation, it's very easy. How this doesn't, like, this cookie doesn't help this. Okay, great. I don't need to hear a survey or a test or some study or some whatever. Like, just make it simple for me. So I think like the second one is making it easy.
I know where you're coming from, and where I see something that sometimes shits me, but I hope my Zen kicks in and doesn't let me do. But so many trainers try and produce content or talk to their clients, but they're doing it in the realm of trying to impress their peers. They're trying to impress their other trainers. And I'm like, no, like, you know what? Like, toning, okay? I know toning is a BS word at the end of the day, but a lot of females, that maybe it's okay to use that terminology and then to help educate them slowly moving along.
Oh, it's like, you know, I was talking to a programmer yesterday, and he's like using all these words, and I'm like, okay, I know what you're saying, man, but I don't care. Like, just talk human. Just talk human, you know? Just talk human to me. That's all I need, you know? So it's like, yeah, like I think actually, let's make this number 2. Putting yourself on the same level as them.
Yeah.
So this means, like, if you're asking your clients to send food, you send food, right? And you're not using these crazy terms to make yourself higher. I think what some people do is they're trying to make themselves as the expert, so they throw around all these big terms. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, you must be really knowledgeable, and I should bow to you. You know, like, it reminds me of my friend. My friend's always like we always end up talking about some political thing, and then he quotes like some crazy book and author you never know. And like, you're always just like, oh, okay, I'm stupid. Okay, sorry.
I'm going to walk away right now.
Yeah, and I swear to God, this guy, what he does is he literally goes online and like types in Google, most obscure names I can quote. And it's like, personal trainers seem this way, you know? It's like, they'll be like, oh, have you trained with Joe Ferrigno? Joe Ferrigno says this. And you're just like, isn't Joe Ferrigno like some actor? Like, what are you talking about?
No, it's really true. And I think number 2 is talking on the same level as the client, because that's the way you need to deliver for them to be able to go from information to transformation.
Yeah, and then just leading as example, you know? It's like, man, Chris, like, if you send me your food, I'm going to be sending you my food, because I don't want to like slack off.
Yep, totally. Okay, what's point number 3?
All right, point number 3. I have so many points, it's so hard to put it down to just like
more than 3. It's a possibility.
I know, but it's like, I think 3. All right, what's the original question? Let's just make sure it's the perfect one.
What should the trainer and coach walk away with from this conversation?
All right.
How should they start thinking? What should they start doing? How is this going to be of huge benefit of them?
All right, stop selling the magic formula. Start selling you. Yeah, because like, the magic formula is out. You know, it's gone. It's there. You can look it up online. You can go to bodybuilder.com and print out things, because like bodybuilder.com doesn't care if they give you free resources. Their free resources is going to sell the supplements, you know? Yeah. Or like Nike Plus. Like, I suggest everybody goes and downloads Nike Plus training and see how easy, amazing it is to work with nobody.
Yeah.
And think about how it is working with you. Yeah. You know, so it's like selling yourself is not just selling the client into your services, but selling yourself is on a daily basis. You know, like when you're working with your client, that's a sales call, even though that's a personal call to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Because if you make it extremely hard for you to difficult and like extremely If you make it extremely difficult to work with you, that hurts your sales, you know, because they're going to be like, I don't want to deal with this, you know? So it's like, you have to think about all these interactions. It's not just like, okay, I got the sale and I'm good to go. You know, it's like in 3 weeks from now, how you interact with them, they're going to think about that when they renew with you.
Oh, totally.
You know, so 100%. It's like every interaction is about the sale.
Being like, this is in the too hard basket right now. Like, I don't need this. Because the thing is, everyone is getting clued up into what's going on. And this is what I loved when you kind of brought it in at the start. It's like, people are savvy. Like, they're not idiots. Like, they can Google and find out this information. Like, hell, and what I was thinking is like, how do I disrupt the fitness industry? How do I take that jobs away? How do I bring those customers over here? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, that can be really easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you make it more personal, right? you get on the same level as your client and you interact with them. And then, you think about just like how you're working with them. It's very, very easy to think about why they would want to work with you.
Yeah.
It's like, even though Nike Fit Plus, Nike, Plus app, it's easy to work with, with the app. At the same time, it's still missing something, like it might get somebody into the door, but there's a lot more to fitness than just a plan.
Exactly.
Like the magic plan, like it's not the end all be all.
Yep. Okay. Really. No, this is really, really good. You know what? I think this should be part 1 of part 2 because I feel like we've only just kind of scratched the surface on this, and we're obviously coming up with the time. So I really think, you know what, Charles? I'm going to get this out ASAP. Let's put it out into the world, see what questions all the coaches and trainers have, and then let's go straight into part 2, maybe next week or the week after that, and let's kind of like start digging a bit deeper because I think we've kind of like, I didn't want this to be all doom and gloom, like as, guess what, you're going to lose all your jobs. Like, because as I was saying before we hit record, I saw someone's headline the other day and they were like, 84% of trainers' jobs are going to be gone in 2 years' time. Like, are you going to be one of them? And I'm like, it's really striking terror in the hearts of trainers right now.
Yeah.
Because I also understand one-on-one personal training, and this is what we didn't even touch into, is like the difference between face-to-face personal trainers and online personal trainers. Like, there are less one-on-one online personal trainers, but also what I love, the quality is getting higher. Like, there's more trainers that want to start talking about hormones, libido, digestion, like things that matter as well, go along with the training. So, I can go on all day, and I think that's what we should do.
I think for like these conversations, like we always seem to jump all these points, is because there's so much. You know, it's like we'll be talking about this point that has nothing to do with point B, but it's like there's so much. Yeah, totally. It's like a huge interweb of like. It's just a huge intersection of all these different ideas and all these different issues that are currently going on. But I think like the main issue, and this is not like a doom and gloom situation, because like I think it's doom and gloom if you have the mindset of an impersonal personal trainer. Yep. Like if you have the mindset of they're going to come to the gym, you're going to do a workout, and then you're going to leave, then yeah, it's doom and gloom for you. Yep. But if you look at yourself as a solution, then it's not going to be doom and gloom for you. Because if I have a problem and you offer the solution, then great. But the solution can't be, here's a workout and here's accountability. The solution has to be so much more than just that.
Okay, I absolutely love this. This is excellent. Now, let's just talk in the nutshell. Let's talk about what's going on with Train Together. What can we unveil to the world so far?
Making me blush. All right, so we're in beta. Like one thing we want to start doing is we want to get more people on the app. So we're going to push it to the App Store. It's not, like any business. It's never a complete, business. Yeah. We have a lot of improvements we want to do, but we want to test out a few things with personal trainers and have them test with their clients first. And then we want to start adding some more features from those feedbacks. But I think like the one thing we could say is like the app's going to be in the App Store within a week or so. And we just want you guys to start testing that out. And we want you guys to look at the app, not as you look at other apps, like, okay, I'm going to deliver my workouts to clients, but look at it as like, okay, this is how I can connect better with my clients. How can I
create a relationship with the client?
Exactly. Yeah. Our whole app is about relationship building. Like our whole, like me and my developer, Nick, we literally look at every decision and we look at it and say, does this make personal training more personal? Yeah. And if it's a no, then we don't do it. Yeah. Like we had this amazing idea yesterday.
Tagline, does this make personal training more personal?
Yeah.
You're full of headlines today.
I've been trying to work on it, my friend. But like we had this really great idea a few days ago. I'm not going to tell anybody because I don't want anybody else to use it. But it's like I sat back and I went, I see how that's really cool, but I also think that doesn't make personal training personal. Yeah. So I don't think we should do that. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, but it's such a cool idea. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter though. Yeah. Because like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to basically be personal training 2.0. What I like to call like health coaches more so than personal fitness, training coaches like you'd go to in a gym. So I think that's, do you have any questions about it?
No, this is really good. I think what we should do, let's get this out to the big wide world. Let's actually get trainers sinking their teeth into this. Let's get you back on and let's go into more because I've written down more questions that we should jump on into. Then I think it's going to evolve. So I really love this personal trainer 2.0, this is a fantastic concept that I think is really summing what is going on with the changes right now. With the app Train Together, I think it's fantastic what you've put together so far. I make 0 coin off any of it, so I'm just saying this for the whole wide world to know what's going on. And I really, I'm obviously going to spread the word when it does come onto the App Store and everything like that. So this is going to be good. I love this. I love your work, Charles. Coops.
All right. Thanks, sir. Hey, I got one question for you, though.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm always really interested about the trainer at the gym trying to move on. So through this talk, I want to know what you think the trainer at the gym trying to go to online or semi in-person training should do from this podcast.
I think they should first realize how the relationships are that they're building, because I get a lot of trainers coming to me and they either want to build an online fitness business and move 100% online, and they're like, I see the way you live, Chris, in Bali, and I want to do that too, or they're like their version of it. Cool, that's fantastic. Or they want to be like, I want to keep doing face-to-face personal training, and I want to build an online stream as well, so you've got more freedom, you've got more income, all these other things that come about it. I think what the trainer has to do is get clear on what's separating them from the competition.
All right, there you go. I think that's good.
I think it's clarity at the end of the day. And
I think that's the whole podcast summed up in a minute.
A perfect example of this. And so Ali, of Ali, because you're in the private group there as well. So
I got a crush on her.
Okay, well, I'm going to make sure I forward this onto her. That's all good. But
that's okay. I message her all the time.
Okay. So I was talking to her yesterday. She
blocked me, though. I don't know what happened. I'm just kidding.
There you go. So we were doing a call yesterday, and so her having clarity, as in one call that we did, getting super clear and be like, okay, this is your market. Your market is golfers. You talk about these few things. This is what you do with them. We haven't even launched her first program. She's got 30 guys, jumping at the chance to jump on a premium program. She wants to do, and it should be. I was like, what you're giving them is $1,000 to $1,500 a month scenario, and she's got 30 dudes willing to jump on right now. It's a no-brainer when you see how easy this stuff is.
Woo! She's gonna be at the beach or something afterwards.
We're gonna have to ask her.
I know. All right.
Anyway, excellent. Coops, love your job.
All right, love you too.
Now it's time for you to get the most out of this, and this is where I can jump in and give the answers that you need. So ask your questions in the comments below so I can personally come through and answer them for you. Plus, the best discussions happen on chrisdufay.com. So click on over to get everything that I've got there for you. And did you like this episode? Because if so, click subscribe so I can send you all the episodes to come for free straight to you. And for everything that I can't fit in these episodes, plus the free guides and coaching episodes, then click on over to chrisdufay.com now. Looking forward to seeing you soon and in the success community.